It's rolling. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and just so you know, guys, I'm also browsing like Lazada and Shopee because there's stuff I need. So like, if I comment like out of nowhere, I don't know.
Sure.
Just so you know.
Same
Yeah.
also.
Okay.
I'm in
okay.
class now actually, so
Hey.
like
You're in the
Class
middle.
now?
You're in the middle of a class right now, and you want to join us.
nah, I'm good, dude. Dude, online classes are horrible for me.
Hey,
I agree.
same. I agree.
I agree. Amen to that.
Hallelujah, praise Jesus.
Like depending on which class is it, and like if the lecturer has good internet, also it can end up like what very bad
Yeah.
dubstep.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
bad.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
For
man.
me, it's my bedroom, and my bed is way more attractive than the chair.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh man.
Welcome to the train of thought. Please stand behind the yellow line as we are about to approach the station. Today's destination, settling for less. Today's destination, settling for less.
This is the Train of Thought podcast brought to you by the Poetic Wit with your train conductor host for today, Aaron Patrick, and with me I have Isaac, Solomon, and Titus. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
What's up?
The date of recording this is the 19th of May. It has been 2 months plus since the MCO started. We're all at home and we're just trying to get by in our lives and stuff. Yeah, how's everyone doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, agree with that.
Doing fine.
Yes,
Bored
I mean-
house, and I'm in a house board.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just checking my previous semester results online on you know, if you have, let's say, in college, depending which college you're in, and they have this online system where they pull up your marks there and your grades and everything. Yeah, I have that in my college, and I was just checking that, and I was looking back at all my results, and I see how far I've came and all my results collectively. So if you don't know that we have like this grading system in college where, let's say, 4.0 is like your A++, and then there's your 3.75, and then your 3.5, and then your 3.0, 2.5, 2.0, 1.0, 0, and like that's how we usually graded from highest to lowest grade. And you know, I was checking my GPA, my CGPA. Overall, I'm still like, I still pass lah. Like at first I expected for myself to, okay, maybe not a 4.0 GPA, but like at least between 3.5 to 3.75 GPA. But then when I just checked my grades for the past semester, I'm already bordering at like what, 3.18 GPA. So I'm like, at this point I feel like okay lah, I don't mind anything as long as I don't fail. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Follow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
and this thought came to my mind, you know, like, you know, how like, yeah, sure, we need to have like standards and ideals so that we have an aim to like achieve something, but at the same time, realistically speaking, there may be limitations as to whether or not we're able to reach that standard, and we question ourselves, and at the end we may end up settling for less. And I have this question for all of us to like reflect and discuss. Is it necessarily a bad thing to settle for less? What do you guys think?
I think it's fine as long as you try your best and you put your, give it all your effort, then I think it should be okay. Grades are not truly reflective of who you really are.
Yep, I echo that.
Wait, so I asked this in the WhatsApp group chat also, right? I asked like, define less. So like, I think it mainly, there's so many layers to this that I think you have to go into the question of like, what is less to you, you know? So like in this case, right, like your question is just like, is it wrong to settle for less? Then I think I want to ask like, what is less?
Wow.
Yeah, because right, like what Isaac said just now is like, if you put it in the spectrum of like grades, it's entirely true, because like in a general setting, like your grades will never define you as a person. I mean, it shows like probably academically like what you prioritize and what you do want to do and stuff like that and all of that lah, right? But it doesn't necessarily speak to the character that you have and the type of person you are. So then I guess like you back the question of like what is less to an individual. So example, like if someone is like person A, right? Their goal is like a 4.0 GPA, whereas like if you put it academically, right, and another person is just like, oh, chinchai lah, like anything's fine, like I'm fine with it. So the definition of less for person A compared to person B will be totally different. You get what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's more, the skills are not a definitive objective like standard, but it's personal subjective like preferences or something like that?
I think it's mainly of like, not only that it's a subjective question, but it's also, I think people should dive deep into that question of like, what is less to you? Like, is settling for less really what you think it is, or like, is it all of that lah? Like you can't just say that, oh, I'm settling for less because I got what I got, like less than what I wanted, but in actuality, like it's something else.
When I ask the question, like, is it a bad thing? Is it necessarily a bad thing to settle for less? Like, it's not so much lowering your standards, but more so like your expectations also. Because a lot of people can expect something from you, like if they look up to you, or they see you as this person with like full of potential, and then but then you're not able to achieve it, and then you end up like beating yourself up for it, because like, oh crap, I expected so much of myself, how can I fail? And then there's this sense of like, denial and stuff. So yeah. that's pretty much it, because like in my case also, being the eldest in the family, and like my parents are like, oh, you're so smart, or something, like I don't know, and like so happen like to some extent lah. I mean, don't you ever think like, oh, I have some level of like greatness or something like that? Like we have a potential to achieve a lot, and then we have these expectations of ourselves. But then when reality hits, right? Yeah, that's the thing. So like, it's a matter of expectations lah. So yeah, you were saying, Solomon?
No, that is so true, because like what you said, right? What you touched on, everyone has a level of greatness that is solely like, personally, I believe that everyone can be great at anything they want to do, right? Anyone can be like a master at whatever they choose they want to do, or like they don't necessarily always need to be. It's like, if it happens, it happens. If the person works hard enough for something, they will be great at it lah, in their own pace, in their own way lah, right? So like what you're saying is that that expectation, like aside from the fact that everyone has a little bit of greatness in them, and when the reality hits that, okay, like this is my limit to things, that is also true, because like in a sense there's only so much one person can do. So example, like, if you put it in, for me, my example, I'll probably use sports, right? That some people are blessed and talented and born with the gift of playing a certain sport, right? They're necessary, like their body is just made for it. They know how to move, they know how to do this and that. Whereas some people aren't, and they work hard for it. But that doesn't take anything away from what they do. And then you want to transfer that over to stuff like, example, like singing. Not everybody can, like, not everyone is blessed with the gift of like singing and all of that, right? But people can learn how to sing, right? Within their own spectrum of like, or not even spectrum, but just like within their own lane lah, right? But I think like, if I go back to your question, like, is it bad? Is it like necessarily bad to settle for less? I agree with what Isaac and Titus like agreed to and said just now. So is not like there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that aside from the fact that you mentioned like your own greatness, I think settling for less is what you personally put. Not only what you said, Aaron, like expectation on yourself, but I think when you are accepting of the fact of like the reality that you have, like, oh, okay, like, hey, I didn't meet this expectation, but I think being accepting of the fact that you fell a little bit short compared to it isn't such a bad thing at all. But I think obviously it's like everyone's gonna be different in that sense. Like some people just really, really like kill themselves for it. You get what I mean?
Well, kill themselves in the figurative or like
No, okay,
literal sense?
not that way, but like they just they're really harsh on themselves.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Yeah, people end up killing themselves, either way, figurative or literally, because of.
Gosh, okay.
Okay, trigger warning.
We're not trying to.
That is not what we mean. That is not what we mean.
People are trying to kill themselves because they fall less of their expectations.
No. There are cases like this. Like you read the news. Read the news,
true.
man.
Yes.
Oh God. God
But
rest
no
their
way we are
souls.
trying to imply that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, please don't kill yourselves.
Oh man.
God. Okay. Yeah. So I put up this poll on Instagram. I think a lot of people are gravitating towards like what we all discussed and agreed here. It's not necessarily a bad thing to settle for less, and they gave like a lot of feedback actually. Yeah, only 2 people said yes, it's a bad thing. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, but like they only voted, like didn't really like. Okay, let's just review some of the stuff. So one says differentiating needs for wants. I needs from wants. I think he was referring to like certain materialistic things. Ehud, one of our guys in the Train of Thought fam, he says it really depends on the context, and like I sort of agree with it also. Not to say. Like I also agree that it not really absolutely no lah, but like I feel like there is a like it really depends, and like there's a line to draw, I guess. So some say having less can cost more. No, sorry, having more costs more. Yeah, goodness, don't know why I read that. Let's see.
More can cost more.
Yeah, because like if you try to strive to achieve something, and then like you don't really have the energy for it, you're going to waste yourself. You know.
Okay.
A lot of it's like on contentment. Some of the messages keep coming.
Yeah, dude.
As long as you have everything you need, everything else is wanted out of greed. Whoa, that is a wise answer. My goodness, this is coming from a person. This is coming from a person younger than me who I've been sort of coaching, sort of.
Whoa.
Sometimes simplicity has its charms, and then
come on now, preach.
Okay, that's my my cousin. Another friend of mine says
that is so true.
Yeah, by being aware and grateful of what you have, less becomes more. As Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Very, very brief, wise sentences. Cousin Felicia says, depending on current situation and advice from the wise, things seem less now but greater in the future. I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. David Langes. What may seem less to you may not be less to someone else, so it's very subjective.
Come on now, Langes, finally, man. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's like what Saul mentioned. Okay, and then there's this one reply I got from a friend. Her name is Shermin. Wait, let me just scroll through the chat. Okay, I'm gonna read this. I feel like one should always aim higher. Okay, so whenever like when she says something, I feel like I'm leaning more towards what she described, because there is that balance right there. I feel like one should always aim higher. Okay. So that if you fall, you don't fall as low as you would have had you aimed for something lower. additionally, no one can always get what they want. So this is like, on the other hand, no one can always get what they want. That's why I say it's not necessarily a bad thing to settle for less. Just that you shouldn't always choose to settle for less, especially when you know you deserve better. So try not to settle for less where you can. And TLDR, not necessarily bad to settle for less, but that doesn't mean you should settle for less. So I feel like I sort of have this balance, or rather this mixed opinion lah. So like I feel like, is it a bad thing to settle for less? It really depends on the context. So let's say if you're talking in terms of exam grades, through you know what Isaac just mentioned, like how your grades don't really define who you are necessarily or your success. It's just a matter of showing how you've prioritized your studies and what was the outcome of your work lah, and stuff like that. But if it's in terms of grades also, like if you have a standard to, let's say if you set like a standard for yourself to strive, right, the outcome of it is that although you do not necessarily achieve that, you might actually find yourself improving from who you were like yesterday. You get what I mean? Like I felt that, but in my case, I felt that it was acceptable so long as I just don't fail lah. But even so, I did have that standard I was aiming for, between a 3.5 to 3.75 GPA. Because realistically speaking, I know I can never be perfect, and what more, achieve a perfect 4.0 like straight up GPA in college. What more, struggling to keep up with like group assignments and managing group members who may or may not get the job done right and things like that, which would actually affect my grade later on. And I really agree with this lah. So like you know my mom used to tell me this also, like you should aim high so that even if you fall short of that target also, you won't fall far from it. Should you aim for something lower? You know that saying where you aim for the moon, you miss the moon, but you end up hitting one of the stars or something like that. You know?
If you don't reach the moon, then you fall upon the stars or something. Yeah.
I should have let you all like introduce yourself like first.
It's all good lah, dude.
Okay.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, wait.
So yeah, if you guys don't already know, Titus, he's been with me since the first episode, the lockdown episode. Go check that out if you are looking for things to do during this MCO period. Solomon, my man, he has been...
Hello.
Yeah. We've been friends since the start of secondary school and stuff. And he's a really good spoken word poet. And he's also...
Okay, relax.
No, dude, that was so good. If you tune into the Mother's Day special, yeah, he was the main voice of the entire thing. Isaac just joined us on the show. He's been a good friend of mine since Sunday school. Yeah, Sunday school. Like,
wow. Okay.
Childhood friend, man. He's been there, and yeah, anticipate all of us in the coming shows, and we're going to be talking more about on more topics about, let's say, reflecting on certain questions like these, right? And hopefully more spontaneous moments like this lah. So yeah.
Eventually, the topic of how to cure the coronavirus.
Sorry?
Eventually, we will get to the topic on how to cure the coronavirus.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah. Actually, you know who we should get on the show? Like, if you guys know any like doctors or anyone studying like medicine or medical, we should get them on and like see what their take on the whole situation is. But then again, I wouldn't want to like do anything like coronavirus related like so much. So it's getting pretty boring, I guess.
Dude, the news is already reporting it enough lah.
Yeah, and then to try to reiterate the news also in our shows is a bit. Yeah. We're not news anchors. We're not journalists or anything. We're just kids. Like recording our conversations and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, thank you so much guys for this time of like discussion. TLDR, I think it's not, or rather we all agree that it's not necessarily a bad thing to settle for less, but that doesn't necessarily mean we should settle for less. But you know, it's a matter of just accepting, let's say, the reality of things. It's good to set standards for yourself. It's good to aim high, but don't be disappointed if we don't, you know, achieve that standard, or we achieve that thing we are aiming for. We're all human anyway, and you know, as human beings we tend to fall short. All we need to do is just keep moving forward and keep improving. You know, it's like we all try to, like, you know, we've been advising each other, you know, look back, you know, see what we can learn from your experiences and what are the things you can apply to move forward, let's say in setting expectations and goals for yourself, no matter if it's studies or anything else you're trying to achieve. Oh yeah, or fitness goals, for example. This is the Train of Thought podcast, brought to you by The Poetic Wit, with your train conductor host, Aaron Patrick, and with me,
Solomon.
I'm Titus.
Isaac.
and we'll catch you next time. Signing out. Peace.
Bye.
Yeet.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay inside. Don't go outside. You will die.
Diam-diam di rumah.
Oh man.
Bye.